The official cause of Princess Cooper's death has been released in the result of her autopsy examination. The result claims she died of hemorrhage shock and a progressive secondary pulmonary tuberculosis. For those of you who don't remember the story, Princess Cooper was the young lady who died in Liberia towards the end of March of 2022 behind the Flowers Building Material Store at ELWA Junction in Liberia. And if you remember correctly, at the initial time of her death, the police said that they did not suspect foul play. They could not find any bruises or cuts on her skin to suggest that somebody beat her or tried to kill her. A lot of the blood that she threw out of her body, a lot of the blood that she may have vomited or sneezed out of her body were not as a result of cuts or bruises or any injury. And that was why the police said that they did not suspect any foul play. And apparently the autopsy result is backing the police up on their claims, because by the end of the results, the pathologist concluded that her death is as a result of a natural cause, which means again, nobody killed her. That is what they mean by natural cause, I guess. Princess Cooper's family has, however, rejected the result. They do not believe tuberculosis killed their daughter, as they don't have a history of such disease in their lineage. And frankly, I understand that. It's suspicious that she would die of a serious disease as tuberculosis when they don't have a history of such in their family. It's very questionable. And another reason why they probably would reject the result is because the autopsy was carried out by the government. And obviously from the onset, the Liberian people have accused the government of being partial or of being protective of the owners of this building where Princess' body was found. Although no words on whether or not Princess had a medical condition at the time of her death, because the result said secondary tuberculosis. Although I'm not an expert, I believe for something to become secondary, it has to be primary first, or at least it has to have some signs and symptoms. So it's not stated if she ever showed signs and symptoms of the disease before it became very serious. But her family are insinuating that she was very healthy and not sick as at the time of her death, which is why it's very puzzling to them. And it's being said that they are requesting a second autopsy. The government themselves also encouraged the family that if they don't agree with the autopsy result, they could carry out their own private autopsy examination, which I think they should do. And I'm hearing that is what they are going to do. It's a smart thing for the family to carry out their own private autopsy examination to be sure of her death. I think is the only way they could get closure and probably meet the government and the police halfway into their claims. Now, just a little backstory for those who may have missed the story of Princess Cooper. Because from the very onset of this case, we've been hearing so many versions of what happened. There have been so many speculations and versions and theories as to what may have happened to her and who may have killed her and what may have led to her death. It was said that she was at her workplace when she got a phone call to go somewhere else, and then she excused herself from her job and then went to the unknown place, which many of us believe to be the Flowers Building because that is where her body was found. And then she called her best friend Naroline Welle, showing her blood in her mouth, and there were claims that she told Naroline Welle that they are killing her. So those were the reports that circulated at the time. There were claims that her friend had called her to go and meet some group of Lebanese men in this building for some kind of hookup, and when she refused, they injected her with some kind of medication to make her relax, which eventually triggered the episode that she died from. And after her death, the police said they arrested a few people from the building, including the owner, a Lebanese man, who was taken into custody. Just for clarity, nothing has been said about the Lebanese man taken into custody by the Liberian police. No words on his confession. No words on whether or not he knew who Princess Cooper was or what his relationship with her was. We still don't know the Lebanese man's side of the story, which is giving a lot of people the impression that the police is protecting the man, which is still the same reason why many people are doubting the autopsy results. It's almost as if they're trying to save the owner of that building at all costs. Now, my thoughts regarding the autopsy result is very plain. I don't disagree, and from what I hear, the autopsy was done in a reputable hospital in Liberia, so I don't think this hospital would be very tricky. I want to believe that they did their best and they were honest throughout the whole examination, even though most times autopsy result can be gotten wrong. And in as much as this result could be true that she may have died of hemorrhage shock or secondary pulmonary tuberculosis, there is still a chance that this episode or the episode that she suffered moments to her death might have been triggered by something or someone. So it's not whether or not this result is wrong. Maybe it's true, maybe it's correct, but what triggered it? Because if someone pushes another person into the road and a moving vehicle hits the person that had been pushed down to their death, the autopsy result would say that the person died from a blunt force trauma from a vehicle that crushed his whatever body and all their big language. That is what the autopsy result would say, that the person died from a vehicle that hit him or her. But the autopsy result would not say that someone pushed the person into the road to where the vehicle would hit the person to death. So let's agree that she died of hemorrhage shock and tuberculosis extreme. What the autopsy result is not telling us is what may have triggered this situation, which I believe something or someone triggered whatever this is as the scientific cause of her death. And so it's unfair for the autopsy results to say it's natural causes. Maybe all of these things could happen as natural causes, but for Princess Cooper's case, there is a chance that someone or something may have triggered it to this extent. Because she died instantly. It wasn't as if she was rushed to the hospital and she was there for a few days. This lady had an episode and it instantly took her life. Instantly. And from what the family are saying, there were no signs of, illness or signs of this disease or signs of this condition. So let's assume the tuberculosis was happening for the first time. Why was it so serious to the point that it ended her life? This is what many Africans would call spiritual attack. Except for the fact that there is a chance that she may have gone to see somebody in this building who may have triggered that situation that killed her. So again, I don't doubt this result. I'm certain that maybe this might be true, but the autopsy result is not telling us what may have triggered it. They did not probably do any toxicology results to check if any chemical was injected in her, because I don't see any toxicology result here. That should be something that they should have done. So in my opinion, the autopsy result is not the problem. It is the investigation from the police that is faulty here. If this is the cause of her death, the circumstances and situations surrounding how she died and where she died is still very sketchy, and it's not something an autopsy result can explain. And to be frank, the police are not very transparent in their explanation as to how she got to that building and who led her there and what may have triggered this situation to cause her death. Now, initially, we were told that it was her friend Naroline Welle who called her to that building to hook up with a group of Lebanese men who were said to be the one who may have poisoned her and triggered that situation. However, Naroline Welle is speaking out for the first time, and this is her side of the story from her mouth. So Naroline Welle recently just made a video speaking her side of the story as regards Princess Cooper's death. This is just moments after her autopsy result has been announced. A lot of people are first of all questioning why she's choosing to speak out now, but I guess it's never too late to speak out. Although this confession or this side of her story is a little doubtful since she was with her lawyer there, it's still important to listen to some of the things that she said and some of the claims that she refuted. Even though I personally don't believe everything, because once there's a lawyer around there's a chance that the lawyer has filtered everything that she would have to say, which would mean that anything that she's going to say here is just to put her in good favor. It's just to make her out of the eyes of the public. At this point, she's looking after herself and not so much about the death of her friend. Because clearly a lot of people have accused her, they've suspected her, she has been, bullied online by a lot of people who said she knows more about her death, who said she was the one who called Princess Cooper to that building to have those men kill her. Some people are even saying that she was jealous of Princess Cooper and wanted Princess Cooper's boyfriend. To be fair, she has been a victim of online bullying since the onset of this case. And so I understand why she has to get a lawyer and why she's speaking so much later than expected. At the same time, it's worth listening to her because she actually revealed a lot of things, and she's actually not even helping the mystery, because after listening to her, it made me believe that this girl's case is even more mysterious than we thought it was. Now, remember we were wondering who called Princess Cooper out of her job to that Flowers building or wherever. I remember it was revealed that she was the one who called her there. Well, Naroline Welle is saying that she was not the one who called Princess Cooper to the Flowers building where she died. Yes, she admitted to calling Princess Cooper that day, that morning, but it was not to go to the Flowers building. And by the time she called Princess Cooper was at work. She said that Princess Cooper was supposed to call her that morning, but Princess did not call her, and so she called Princess, and the call was on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. That's how they speak, video call and probably video chat, I guess. So when she spoke to Princess Cooper while she was at her job, and the job that she was at was a catering school where Princess Cooper was teaching people how to cook. When she called Princess Cooper and Princess Cooper picked the call, Princess Cooper told her that, "Don't worry, I will call you back. I'm at work. I'm about to work." The first time that she spoke to Princess Cooper that morning, Princess Cooper was still at her job. It was later on in the afternoon around 1 when Princess Cooper called her on video call And at the time, she was at the back of the Flowers building. And according to her, she saw the floor. She wasn't hearing Princess Cooper speak. And as she wanted to end the video call because she thought Princess Cooper was not speaking on the video call, that was when Princess Cooper turned the camera to her face and she saw blood in her mouth. Now, remember the popular report that Princess Cooper said to her, "They are killing me, oh, they are killing me." That report went everywhere. We all thought Princess Cooper told her with her own mouth that they are killing me. Well, Naroline Welle is refuting that claim. She was asked about it and she said that no, that Princess Cooper did not tell her anything in the video call. That Princess Cooper did not say a word, that she only saw blood in her mouth and the call ended. She is saying that she does not know where people got the idea that Princess Cooper told her, they are killing me or they are killing me. Because according to her, Princess never said such. And it's hard to believe that part, honestly. It's really hard. I don't know, because it came out immediately. The first time we heard of her death, those were the direct reports from sources who said that she claimed that Princess said those words to her. I guess this is just her lawyer editing. I guess her removing that side of the story would save her from the impression that she probably knew who the people were. But to be fair, the video was convincing. She was pretty convincing in telling us that those things were never said to her by Princess Cooper. But it's up to you guys to believe whether or not she's lying or whether or not Princess actually told her those words. Because now she's saying Princess didn't. But after she noticed that Princess had blood in her mouth and the call ended, she started calling people. She called Princess' boyfriend and asked Princess' boyfriend to go to Princess' school to go and check on her, because she thought that Princess was at her school, at her workplace when she made that call. It's not clear, but she may have stated that she went to the school herself too with the boyfriend, or she called the school and asked the school what's up with Princess, and they told her that Princess is not around, that Princess will soon be back. Because apparently someone else had called Princess out of the school to go to that Flowers building. And we thought it was her, but now she's saying she's not the one. So which means that we still don't know who called Princess Cooper to the Flowers building where she died. Because the claim still remains that Princess Cooper was at her workplace when somebody called her, and then she excused herself from her job to tell the co-workers that she'll be back shortly, only to be found dead behind the Flowers building. So who called Princess Cooper? Who did? If she said she didn't, then someone else did. So who did? That is something the Liberian police would have to tell us, because it's making us feel that they are trying to cover up something. She was also asked if she knew Princess Cooper friends, if she knew if Princess Cooper had any, any notable rich friends. And I think the guy asking the question was kind of insinuating if she knew whether or not Princess Cooper knew anybody in the Flowers building, because the person who asked the question asked her if she knew any guy named Ali, and if whether or not Ali is a foreigner or a Lebanese man or a Liberian man. In which Naroline Welle claimed that she didn't know Princess Cooper's friends, but she has seen some of them when Princess Cooper speaks to them on the phone, and that all she does is say hi and hello. And then they asked her if the guys were foreigners, and she agreed that they were foreigners and they did not stay in Liberia, but she also stated that the people were black and not, brown or white. She was also asked about Princess Cooper's medical history, or if Princess Cooper had a fight with somebody, or if she had a misunderstanding with someone, and she claimed she did not know any of those things. She also stated that her and Princess Cooper had only been friends for 3 years, which I thought was really odd, because I would have thought they were best friends for a long time. But Naroline Welle is saying that they were only friends for 3 years, which in my opinion seems like a very new friendship. If you ask me, it seems really new for just 3 years. And that was why she said she does not know about her medical history or if she had a fight with anyone. And that was basically all that she said. Just to recap, she said she called Princess. Princess said she would call her back, and the next time Princess called her, Princess was already dead behind the Flowers building, pretty much insinuating she was not the one who called her to the Flowers building, nor was she the one who asked her to go there to meet any Lebanese man for hookup. My question to you guys is, do you believe her? Do you think she's telling the truth? Or do you think her lawyers have found a way to edit, cut, and join some of the good things that she would say to make her look better, or to make her plead her case? Because to be fair, she's only a person of interest and not a suspect. The police are not treating her as a suspect, they're only treating her as somebody who has information. And it seems to me that everything she said was just to clear her hands and her name off it. Like I've already said, the entire interview was believable. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I sort of believe everything she said. At the same time, I still feel that this was just in an attempt to clear her name and save herself, because I still believe she probably knows more than she's saying. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think she's lying, or do you think she might be telling the truth? And regarding her autopsy result, I would also like to hear your thoughts, because I personally think the autopsy result might be correct. I just feel that something may have triggered everything here that led to her death. Either something or someone, and the autopsy results would not tell us that. Only the police can tell us that. And in my opinion, they are failing to tell us that. So guys, let me know what you think, and don't forget to keep an eye on this page. Should there be any update, I'll sure to let you guys know. But right now, as regards the Princess Cooper's case, the family are opting out for a second autopsy result. They are in the process and in the middle of, requesting a second and probably a private autopsy examination. So we will just have to wait and see what the second autopsy result says. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, comment your thoughts, subscribe, and turn on the notification button so whenever there is a new video, you'll be the first to know.